Halito, halito, halito. Grand Rising, what's happening, beloveds? What happening? So I wanted to give New Yorkers a little education on how they can fix some things. New York is a very stressful place. It is definitely my home country. That's my country. And I love it, but I'm not proud of some of the things that have been happening in New York. So essentially, I have fled my country to seek asylum in another country, which is North Carolina. Great Rising Kinfolk, what's up, beloved? So I want to, let me see, I want to put this here so that if anybody wants to join, they certainly can. What's up, Mingoism? Hi, Alicia. So I want to show some more of the New York State Constitution in detail, so people know exactly where it's at, what things need to change, and how do you change it, right? Because you have the power. You cannot wait for Donald Trump to change your situation. New York is set up a little different than other states, and this is going to be a way for you to identify what it is that you can do. What is the protocol to get something done? You have the power to get laws changed. What has happened is they've left everything pretty much in New York up to the legislators. Only thing is the people aren't communicating their wants, needs, or desires to the legislators. So they're currently, they're basically, and most of the legislators are foreigners. They are of foreign descent, and they make things comfortable for their families when they get here. And you, the Indian, the Negro, whoever, the Black American, ends up getting shut out by foreigners. And I think people are too kumbaya to really realize where the money's going. Everything that you ask for is pretty much already there. And what isn't there, you have the power to create it. So let's show you where your first line of defense is in the state of New York when these people come and try to take your cornbread. What's up, Michael Brown Harris? Happy belated birthday, beloved. Seven God, what's up, good brother? Checking in from Queens, New York, Mingo. I know that's right. Halito, family. What's up, Cherokee? How you doing, beloved? So I want to show what New York State got going on so people are aware, so you can stop blaming people and assign yourself in your own fate. Assign yourself to save yourself. This is how it goes down in New York. Let me get this here. 1 second. Okay. Now, I showed you how to make a citizen's arrest when you see the police committing crimes, or even, in this case, these niggas that shoot up parties and shit like that, block them off. You want them around in your neighborhood? Y'all gonna have to do something about that shit. You want to clean up? You're gonna have to clean up for real. So that means lifestyle changes from the hood booger shit and transition into whatever it is that you feel is going to protect your posterity going forward. That's important, because if you ain't thinking about the future generations, you're just taking up space right here. And a lot of people are taking up space. And taking up space has actually been very, very costly to people, right? You see that. Okay, so here is your preamble for New York. And we're going to look at some of this shit very carefully so that it is that you understand. Rights, privileges, and franchise secured. Power of legislature to dispense with primary elections in certain cases. So your rights say that trial by jury, how it's waived. Freedom of worship, so you get to pray in any kind of church, mosque, or whatever it is, as long as it's not harmful to anybody. Then you have habeas corpus, bail fines, punishments, detention of witnesses, grand jury protection of certain enumerated rights, duty of public officers to sign a waiver of immunity and give testimony, penalty for refusal. Duty of public officers to sign a waiver of immunity and give testimony. How does that sit with you? Public officers sign a waiver of immunity and give their testimony. So that means even if they're lying, nothing can happen. Now, you want to blame somebody else for that? How did your legislatures let that slip by you? These are some of the questions These are some of the questions. If I was sitting in the other seat and you had something that you wanted me to listen to change, these are some of the questions that they will have. You need to be able to answer them. It's not the fact that you are speaking out, but what are you talking about is important. What are you talking about? If you don't know what you're talking about, nobody's really listening. They're listening to the fact that you don't know what you're talking about. That's got to suck. Okay, so equal protection of laws, discrimination in civil rights is prohibited. But what are you doing about that? What part of discrimination do you fall in? Do you see? Where do your complaints go? Where do you lodge them? Do you even lodge complaints? Security against unreasonable searches, seizures, and interceptions. Common law and acts of the colonial and state legislatures. Do you know what the colonial legislatures are in the state of New York? Did you think that that had gone away after the American Revolution? The Constitution of the state of New York is telling you that there are still some colonial and state legislatures. And if they can't prove, or let's say this, if there are colonial legislatures that go against what the people say, then how come the people haven't got rid of it? That might be 80% of a New Yorker's grief problems right there. Who knew that they still have colonial and state legislatures? New York is a penal colony. They sent the worst of the worst from all over the world here to New York. Damages for injuries causing death. Has Sean Bell been compensated? Sean Bell's family? Do people remember Sean Bell? That happened here in New York. What about Al Sharpton and Benjamin Crump and all these other people that show up acting like they're doing something for these people? Does Sean Bell's fiance, his wife, do they have any compensation for what the NYPD did to her husband? Injuries causing death. Labor is not a commodity. Hours and wages in public work. Right to organize and bargain collectively. So you know that New York, that means that New York is absolutely a union state. So now you have Article 2, where it talks about suffrage. Anytime you see the word suffrage, that has something to do with voting and politics. And this is the second article of the New York State Constitution, and it talks about the qualifications of voters, absentee voting, certain occupations and conditions not to affect residents. Let me grab one that has the breakdown and the sub-articles in between as well, so that you can see some of the language that they're using. I'm just going to run through the articles really quickly. So Article 3 talks about the legislature, legislative power, number and terms of senators and assemblymen. You should be able to look at the New York State website and have complete visibility of who your assemblymen and senators are, what the Senate districts are, what they do in your area to obtain your vote, whatever kind of pandering, whatever kind of promises they make, you need to hold these people liable. So they have the readjustments and reapportionments when federal census, to control the federal census, okay? So you have apportionment of assemblymen, creation of assembly districts. So they can create new districts that weren't there before, and they can create them and have politicians assigned to that specific area. Let's see. Open sessions, adjournments, members not to be questioned for speeches. Bills may originate in either house, may be amended by other. Enacting clause of bills. No law to be enacted except by bill. Manner of passing bills. Message of necessity for immediate vote. Well, police brutality for a long time has been a message of necessity for an immediate vote. That has not happened. You see a bunch of people get on the news and they start crying, we want this, and they got to stop that, and they got to do this, and they got to do that. You fall on deaf ears because you don't know where to appropriately place your grievances. Prison labor contract system abolished. So there are no private prisons that will be contracting in New York State. Now, a lot of the contract labor had to do with what? What we call slavery, right? So, in the instance of slavery, you cannot just assume that it is a kidnapped African that was brought to work here for free. It's certainly and very well maybe someone convicted of a felony in most times. And contract labor was abolished. Not exactly sure when in New York, but it was. And it still was going on in Mississippi currently in 2012, 2013 as well. So now Article 4 talks about the executive branch, executive power, election in terms of governor and lieutenant governor, qualifications of governor and lieutenant governor. So this is where you will look up what are the qualifications to be a governor of the state of New York. Maybe different in the state of Connecticut or the state of Massachusetts, but this is where you figure out if you've got what it takes to be lieutenant governor or governor of the state of New York, which in fact would be the president of that country. Commutations and pardons, powers and duties of a governor related to grants of. So now this is where it is on public display what it is that at this point Governor Cuomo can and cannot do. Okay, what is within his scope of power as the governor of the state of New York. And then it tells you, it goes on to say when the lieutenant governor is to act as governor, duties and compensation of lieutenant governor, succession to the governorship, action by governor on legislative bills, reconsideration after veto, departmental rules and regulations, filing and publication. So that's Article 4. Then you have Article 5, and it talks about officers and civil departments, lets you know about the comptroller and the attorney general, payment of the state money without audit void. So the comptroller is basically the certified public accountant for the state of New York. It used to be Thomas D. Napoli. There's tons of money there. That's where you'll find your unclaimed funds, your unclaimed property. And it just goes in escrow, and the state makes all of this money over things that they owe you. And keep in mind, every state has a comptroller's office. Every state has an unclaimed funds. So if you lived in Ohio in 1992 and you sent a Western Union to your mother and she never picked it up, it will be in the Ohio unclaimed funds. They have between 2 and 7 years to report it. And within that window, it'll give you the date, the last known address or method of contact that they formerly had when you first signed up for whatever it is that they owe you. It could be a paycheck that you never picked up from a summer youth job that they still owe you. The money is still there. They cannot do anything to it, but what they do is keep borrowing against it because niggas don't know that it's there. I found lots of money for quite a bit of people. I really haven't found too much for myself, but it's out there. So every state person, you should check the office of the state comptroller. You'd be surprised. There were adjustments to 401k that you were entitled to, all different sorts of things, life insurance policies for ancestors that you weren't aware of. That is where you would find that. So that's going to be the office of the comptroller. Civil departments in the state government, assignment of functions. This is where you learn what everybody's job title is in the state of New York, what it is that they're supposed to be doing. If you find, in fact, that they are not doing that, this is the part where you know how to bark up the right tree now. This is where the squeaky wheel will get the oil because nobody complains about these things directly to the appropriate party and they get thrown into a different receptacle, right? Article 6 is judiciary. It talks about the unified court system, the organization, all of the processes involved. Court of Appeals organization, designations, vacancies, how they're filled, commission on judicial nomination. Court of Appeals jurisdiction, judicial departments, appellate divisions, how constituted, governor to designate justices, temporary assignments of jurisdiction. Appeals from judgment or order, right? So if you get sued, this is how you will be able to get a new trial. Those are going to be where you find those particular procedures and the fine print and the rules in which that's supposed to happen. Judicial districts, how constituted, to the Supreme Court. Then it talks about Supreme Court jurisdiction, appellate terms, composition, jurisdiction, court of claims, jurisdiction, county courts, county court, jurisdiction, surrogate courts, family court, discharge of duties of more than one judicial office by the same judicial officer. And then it has, of course, it'll tell you where all the district courts are, what their jurisdiction is, who the judges are. So you don't have to go showing up to court and everybody knows who you are, but you don't know who everybody else is. They are public officials, and all of this shit is on display. All of this shit is on display. There's no way if somebody invited you to a house party in a different side of town, you are not going to show up. You're going to ask some questions. Who's all going to be there? What kind of people going to be there? You know, I don't do people, right? You'll have those type of situations. You're not just going to go all willy-nilly over there and don't know what you're walking into. You might walk into a gunfight with a knife. Same thing that happens in a courtroom every day, and then you get your ass whipped because you don't know why you're there. You think you know why you're there, but you really don't. You don't know what's going on while you were there. And that's also an issue. And this is also a reason why you end up getting your head bust. So this is all the information that's going to be on the court when it comes down to which court is which, inapplicability of article to certain courts. This is where you find all of that. Existing laws, duty of legislature to implement an article, pending appeals, actions, proceedings, preservation. Nothing that you need to know that is important is hidden from you. Now, whether or not you turn a blind eye to it, if you want to watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, that's fine. That's your prerogative to do so. But you don't get to cry about the status quo and the state of what's going on with your affairs after you done spent 20 minutes in fantasy and 0 minutes in reality and truth. It's just irresponsible. And that irresponsibility has trickled down, and thus the clusterfuck of things that we're in right now that we'd like to change, right? This is only for the people that's serious, because some people just ride the wave for a minute, just like Black Lives Matter was all the wave last week, and now all these babies getting killed, and you don't see them nowhere, right? And you know the prideful people, what they're going to do, what they're not going to do is say, you know what, maybe I need to reconsider how I felt about Black Lives Matter. Niggas won't even give folks the true satisfaction. Ornery motherfuckers. Ornery as hell. You won't even give niggas the satisfaction to be like, you know what? I did all that riding for motherfuckers, but when it come down to this, they know where to be found. Do you feel duped yet? You should. If you think Black Lives Matter is going to save your black ass, it's a lie. They're saving rainbow asses. That is their primary concern. Nothing more. They just happen to be rainbow asses with black that take on the term black for people of color. That's it. May not even be related to you. So it's on people to decide how long it is that, you know, they're going to be fooled, and how long are they going to kid themselves? Because people kid themselves all the time. They kid themselves all the time. Especially thinking that niggas is supposed to perpetuate this bullshit gang culture where somebody gets shot in a fucking after hour spot where niggas is supposed to be socially distancing. But these motherfuckers don't even chill with their own family in their own house. They got to go meet up with strangers, right, at the drop in and go get it in at a time like this. Niggas ain't strategizing. They ain't plotting on no come up or nothing. What are you doing with your time? You don't get to be mad at shit that you're having a hand in. You don't get to be mad at that kind of shit. And it's people that put in a lot of work and really want to change their conditions. You can see what it is, what work that they were willing to put in. Long hours in the library, long hours sitting in silence, long hours digging, trying to figure out where is the disconnect that somebody's not telling us. And I thought about something Malcolm X said. What kind of fool would let an enemy teach his children? Why would the enemy tell me how to protect myself? Why would they? Then the reality set in that not every enemy is a white person. Because there's some niggas that been tricking us too in regards to what our rights are. And they minimize our power any chance they get. They use it when it's for the good, for bragging rights or black excellence. But when it comes down to it, it's going to be somebody else's fault. The white man did it. The Chinese man did it. But we don't never want to point the finger at some of our people that are culpable, complicit. You don't want to turn them over, though. You want everybody else to fry for the same fucking crime, but the nigga that look like you, he gets a pass. Is that right? Is that how it goes? I'll be wondering, because the Christians be flip-flopping like a motherfucker. One minute you saying this, the Bible says to be just and true. Are you being just and true by not wanting to point a finger? Don't tell nobody that Elijah Cummings died with $6 billion fucking dollars. Elijah Cummings died with $6 billion. That was for the city, Baltimore. Black Lives Matter. How many months later? Nobody remembers that. They remember George Floyd with a white man kneeling on his neck till he couldn't breathe. They remember that. You remember all of the bad images, but you don't remember the saving graces. Those images didn't even get captured inside your bank. Didn't even get captured. Why did that miss you by? How does civics and polity and how you get to live in a free country, how did that pass you by? At what point do Black people feel responsible for some of the things that are happening to them? Are they ever going to be honest about it and be like, you know what, we was doing this, we was listening to that, coming to terms with things? I think that will be a lot helpful. It'll be honest. And once you're honest with yourself, you find it to be honest with other people. It won't be any other way to be. You don't look for acceptance, you look for truth. And sometimes people don't want to accept the truth. We show that all the time. Not to be condescending, but to be like, whoa, wait a minute, buddy. You want me to love a lie. You're more comfortable with the lie. You're more comfortable with the lie, and you expect the rest of us to keep repeating that same lie so that we can make it true. We've done that for a long time, and now the truth is in the building, staring everybody in the face, and everybody wants to look all around everywhere else. Can't do that. What are the do people, and then you want to convince people that you were kings and queens. Really? Where? How do you know? King and queen where? You just assign yourself to somebody's pyramid in Egypt because that's what you were told? How do you place yourself? How are you related to King Tut? How are you related? How do you really attach yourself to people that you can't prove existed? How do you attach yourself to a point in history where you don't know where you were before you got here? It is truly impossible. And the wool that they pulled over our eyes was making niggas think that they can attach themselves to some Egyptian pyramids and shit, but can't even figure out how they got from Egypt to here. Is it even true? Is it even true? I'll tell you what, when those girls in Boko Haram came and kidnapped those girls out of Nigeria, all you Black Lives Matter people was talking about, bring back our girls. They brought those Nigerian girls back safe and sound. Some of them came back pregnant and raped, but they came back alive. What about our girls here in America? Nobody has the same zest. But Puffy and Michelle Obama got up there with they bring back our girls. And everybody was, yes, bring them back. They wasn't our girls. They were Nigerian girls. You don't care about the girls in your hood. You don't care about the little baby girl that they won't even make it to her 9th birthday. You don't care about her. Because you'll hide this nigga. You'll hide this nigga on some sort of street justice bullshit when everybody needs a fucking intervention. Niggas need hugs. Niggas need intervention. But far be it from anyone to want to tell or pull somebody's coattails to the truth. Motherfuckers get defensive. They'll sit there and love up on a lie, but they get defensive as fuck on the truth. They get defensive as fuck. Provoking thought is about the best you can do to keep from mollywopping some of these people. The anger that they can muster up for someone that's telling them how to fucking help themselves, encouraging them to help themselves, they will take all of that anger and give love to a nigga that lied to them and put them further down in the motherfucking hole. And then you want us to pretend that that hole's a good place when everybody trying to get out that motherfucking hole. Who is the killer? Who's the killer? You don't want to fix the shit internally. You don't want to fix the shit internally. Don't get mad when you get lambasted out in the open in front of everybody that you've been acting like an asshole in front of anyway. I want to know who called Alicia Cortez? Who called any of these politicians? Who's sitting there talking to Paul Tonko? Senator, I think it's Democrat Schenectady. How come ain't nobody got no relationship with them? How you niggas gonna be scared of authority, who you say is authority, but you want some kind of action? Well, which one of y'all niggas ain't scared to go and talk to the fucking senator? Somebody's scared. And then, you know what? The person that'll go to the senator is the same nigga that's against you and will help them motherfuckers fuck you over. I seen it. Don't dare try to play me. 518, y'all was holding that lady Angelica Morris down. And I know that bitch is responsible for 15 years worth of oppression and misery. 15 years. She the only person in that town that's supposed to be a go-to when your rights get violated. And niggas was friends with that bitch. Niggas was supporting her fucking event. Niggas got some corrupt shit going on. Don't let me come back there and sit down for a little while. I'll find you motherfuckers and I'll smoke your ass out too. Yeah, you know why? Yeah. You know why? Because I'm on the side of truth. I know better. I don't owe no allegiance to no motherfuckers in the street. I ain't hurt nobody out there. My little ones and twos, listen, don't even amount to some of the dirt. I was a good friend to people. Motherfuckers ain't got no loyalty. That shit can't be taken. I was good to y'all kids. Y'all motherfuckers ain't write my son no motherfucking letter. I got cards, tons of cards for people, kids right now. They still my babies. I know them all their life. About to send my boo Kia. She done took herself over to boot camp in the Navy. And she don't even know. She gonna get some mail from me. Because she had to find a way herself when she's surrounded by all these people that she grew up with that going every side, every which way. And we need to highlight the beautiful children that make it and take it upon themselves to find their own motherfucking path. Bigger and better than mommy and daddy did it. Bigger and better than their fucking peers. Those are the kids that need to be highlighted. We don't highlight them. We don't give them the accolades they need, that they deserve. We need to let them know that we're proud of them. Right? I get calls all the time where people, grown folks, are saying, yo, I seen your son the other day. That's a dope young man. That's a dope young man. Oh, man, yo, your son's a good kid, man. He a cool cat, man. He got his own brain. Now, your son was out here smacking on some little girl. Your son was out here. Yo, no. Not mine. Not mine. Not mine. But I didn't lock my door for 25 years. And the reason why I didn't lock my door is because no matter what we did with ours, if I didn't help your kids too, my son will be on the other end of your son's gun. Oh, the burden of keeping it real. You can't even be honest about how real you keep it with people. And a lot of times, motherfuckers think you took the L, but you took the high road out. That ain't no fucking L. That ain't no fucking L. Niggas be doing dirty dealings. I hired people that I didn't even fucking like. Off the clock, me and this bitch could scrap. I want to beat her ass. But I know she in here, and I'm the one interviewing her. She need this job. I didn't hold that over her head. She know who I'm talking about. She know who I'm talking about. The look on her face when I'm the one that got to interview you for this job. And I sat there and treated her regular, knowing this bitch would have grinded the axe to me. She had an axe to grind for me for no reason. But the way I handled that, you motherfuckers can't take that from me. Can't take it from me. I always kept it real. Remember, I was the one that was getting written up for showing people how to get away when they come into work with big old black eyes hanging off their face. Oh, yeah. You tell somebody in human resources, right? You work in human resources. You give people resources that can help them, not just job related. I would always walk the Guyanese lady over to the sign where the federal regulations are letting them know what minimum wage was. And if men are talking to you in this produce plant back here, inappropriate, if they're talking to you the way that they wouldn't speak to you in front of your husband, you're being sexually harassed. Let me show you. How to address that? My whole jacket. My whole jacket. I've been the same fucking way. Now I'm getting better, and motherfuckers, you think you're gonna put this light out? It's 46 years later. Ain't none of that shit. I threw away a lot of shit just so I could focus on developing my true self. I'll be damned if I let motherfuckers put it in a box. You tried to fight me the whole way, right? The person that gives life, you motherfuckers usually try to take life from those people, whether you know it or not. Whether you know it or not, I'm here to tell you, I am living fucking proof that that happens. But you got to be strong enough to know how to cut that shit off. Don't listen to the no's. And don't even look for the yeses. The yeses need to come from here. The truth comes from here. The action comes from here. The results come from the brawn of those actions. I learned how to get results after having the whole fucking rug pulled from underneath me. The very same community that I fed watched me drown with white people trying to fuck my life up. I did right by niggas in the hood. I did right by motherfuckers in corporate America. But you know what? I learned victimhood is a blood sacrifice. I'm not Jesus to get nailed to nobody's motherfucking cross. Remember, everybody kills their help. People kill their help. They kill their help. They kill the help. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, like, let's just go. They kill the help. They kill the help. Jesus, you niggas killed them. We want Barnabas. Niggas will practice that shit and rub the Bible in your face all day, but don't even take the fucking meat and spit out the bones. The meat in that is that you will kill the motherfucker that comes to help you because you don't even know what the help is. Motherfuckers got to be a martyr in order to get some fucking respect. But they'll glorify the motherfucker snatching all the pocketbooks. He the illest nigga in Nebraska. Shit is ridiculous. And now it can't be turned off. There's some things that can't be done, but there's got to be some atonement. There's some things that you got to go back on in your repressed memories, and you got to make those things right. If that means apologizing to someone that you fucking stabbed when you was 15 years old, do it. Freeze up yourself. Sure, their life went on, but it ain't never been the same since that event. Is it some way that us as women of color was supposed to be carrying on? No. I'm going to be honest with you. I was tired of fighting. It's been like 15 minutes. I pulled my knife out and I got her up off me. But at the end of the day, her mother saved my life. Could have been in Spofford. Who would have wanted that? My uncle worked at Spofford for over 30 years. How embarrassing would that have been that his niece is coming through there for attempted murder at 15 years old? I stood right there. This is her only girl, her only daughter. And I stabbed her, and she's standing there 3/4 of an inch away from her jugular. 15 went around to, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, right? And I see her at 42 years old, and I finally get to apologize to her. I got to thank her mother before she passed away in the 90s. I got to thank her. Or the early 2000s, I got to thank her. She saved my life. Years later, I became a mother, completely changed. And I was free. I was able to become a mother because I wasn't in prison, because this woman said, baby, I know you're a good kid and I know you're going through something. Yeah, my parents were on drugs, right? This is where the village came in, where I almost took her daughter's life, but she saw enough to know that I'm going to give you a second chance. Give you a second chance. So there's some people that aren't even here. I don't want to let them down. That second chance, being able to remember and reflect that Miss Letty gave me a second chance after I almost took a life that she brought to this world. pay it forward. I pay it forward. The help, the wanting to help comes from knowing that I've taken things. Not in a thief kind of way, a material kind of way, but there's some things that were highlighted that probably shouldn't have been highlighted. And there's some things that were lowballed that should have been highlighted. Right? The balance, being able to balance. It's a lot of shit that come with freedom. A lot of shit that come with not being oppressed. Lots of shit, lots of variables that come with that. But I think it's going to be up to people to figure out what it is that they're tired of, what it is that they want to change, and decide on whether or not they have the power to change it. So now you can't say that no one ever told you, right? Miss Letty told me I was valuable, even though I was acting like a whole fucking street urchin. She told me I was valuable, and she spared my freedom. It's the same as sparing my life. Because I know I'd have been in group homes, Spofford, fucking people up. It would have been ugly. And that probably would have made me an animal. Paying it forward. I will be eternally grateful to someone that I can't even show them. That decision you made not to have me arrested sparked a lot more. Added a lot of value to me. I will forever be grateful. I will forever be grateful for that. But anyway, it's Phoenix Moon at Instagram, beloved. Halito Slimbo, what's up, Danielle? Hi, Malik, how you doing, beloved? Mr. Sean D. Grand Rising, what's happening with you? No, not any 1099 for OID. It's literally Office of Unclaimed Funds. Hold on, let me pull it up, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Let's see. This is OSC, Office of the State Comptroller. Okay. Yeah, so it is Thomas D. Napoli. When the fuck does this man retire? He's been the state comptroller, I don't know how long or how many times. Are you sure he's not a thief? Are people they are not even aware. $16.5 billion in lost money. It's not lost. Niggas ain't claiming. What happens is with them, if it's $250 or more, I think you pay like $35 for them to process it. If it's under $250, it's free and they'll just mail you the check. So you can put in a last name. Let me see. I'll just pull one out of a hat. And I'll just put in the last name Mitchell. So this is what the search for lost money looks like. Okay. Every state is different. The thing about California tells you if they owe you $2,000 or 2 cents. There was a situation where I found tons and tons of money for Dame Dash. This actually used to be one of my side hustles. And I would find the money and I'd contact the people and I knew where it was, kind of like a fake ransom thing or whatever. I'm showing them where to get money that they didn't even know that they had. So I made a little bit of money. I always had a side hustle. I was doing it since 1997. I always had a computer. So I was always able to do that. That was back when AOL was on like 3.0 with the dial-up, it'd take you forever just to log on that bitch. But okay, so someone here, let's go to somebody with a name so that you can see what it's here for. Okay, so whoever Aaron Mitchell is, this is the last known address, 3225 10 Breck Avenue in the Bronx. Caremark PCS. So this is a health, something with health. They owe him money. So it doesn't tell you what it is, but what happens is Aaron Mitchell will be able to go here. There's a series of things now. It tells you the owner's address, who it's reported by, reported as Aaron Mitchell. So it's under his name. It's not reported under his children or anybody else. This is Aaron Mitchell, and it only has one owner here. So if it was like an insurance policy, it would name the insurance policy, how many beneficiaries are attached to this policy. Say it was from grandma left 3 of the grandkids, X amount of money. It will have number of owners as 3. It'll have grandma's name, and it'll be reported as. So this here happens to be an outstanding check that's issued to a vendor. So he paid out to somebody, and he paid too much. They have to give him that money back. So they give you Office of Unclaimed Funds code, and the year it was reported. So this was reported in 2019. So you know that this happened either from 2 to 6 to 7 years back, 2 to 6 years back. So it was reported between at least 2017, as late as 2017, and as early as 2012, that it could have been reported. Okay, so that's what the Office of Unclaimed Funds is. Whatever state you are in, everybody has one. Let's see. California, let me just show you the difference. Some states, California, and now the thing with California, see, they all have different, now this might be like a side site that does what I did 20 something years ago, but this is the actual state.gov site for the state of California. And you can search for unclaimed property here. And this is what I would do. California was so easy to do. I did a lot of famous people, and you can see, let's say Aretha Franklin. Check the box below. Here we go, tractors. Okay, so I put in Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin, Beverly Hills. We know for sure this is her, care of Dick Allen, right? These are some of the addresses that she had. This is the ID number for the specific claim. So Aretha Franklin's estate can actually claim all of this money here, right? So this one here, let's see. This is the ID number. So Crown Products Incorporated, Beverly Hills, this is a salaries, wages. So somebody owes her $598.50. So she died with all of this stuff in intestate. And like I said, I found tons of money for like Dame Dash. And it was an opportunity where we were actually going to meet him for some music shit. And he acted like a complete asshole. And I pretty much just was like, oh, well, fuck him then. He think he rich enough already. And I kind of just left it at that. Mean people suck. Mean people suck. Halito Tai, how are you, beloved? So definitely there's Office of Unclaimed Funds. Everybody's got something. Randomly, put in people in your family, you'll find money for them. I used to do it all the time. Every time I was bored, had some downtime, 5-10 minutes, just put in random names, call them up. Hey girl, you got some money. I don't know how much it is, but this is the claim number. This is how you get it, blah, 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 blah. But all sorts of things go there. And people don't even know. So they have $16.5 billion worth of New Yorkers' money, and New Yorkers are the ones that got the least amount of motherfucking bread. You got to even know who's stealing. People don't even know who's stealing the money. You're mad because Trump wants to build a wall, but you can't be safe like the people in Chinatown can. How is there Chinatown in the middle of your hood? Doesn't bother you until you realize who's stealing. It's not the obvious suspects. You'll be very surprised at some of the people whose hands in a cookie jar. Black Caucus, last year, 2019. 2019, Black Caucus. They were staying at the hotel. My sister had, one of my sisters had a surgery, and I had went up to Albany. I stayed in a hotel close to Albany Medical Hospital. And in this hotel at the time, it was the same weekend of the Black and Hispanic caucus and stuff like that. And I got to asking questions. What's a Hispanic? You see the looks on people's face. You know what a caucus is? Listen, let me just show people what a caucus is. What's in a word? A meeting at which local members of a political party register their preference among candidates running for office or select delegates to attend a convention. So that means that your Black caucus is guilty of promoting these people for you to vote for that don't mean you know damn good. What is the Black Caucus responsible for? Voting in people that suit their interests, not yours, nigga. But you will blame Donald Trump. Let's get closer. Get closer to the problem. Let's get closer. Don't get close to the solution yet, because you don't even know how to identify what the problem is. And the problem is these people that's pretending to be fist up in the air. They're not worth their salt. So now we've all been tricked, even by our own people, into giving power to these motherfuckers, giving accolades to these motherfuckers that's helping these other oppressors grind that axe, right? You don't even see it coming. The motherfucker standing next to you screaming the loudest is the nigga that violates your rights the most. They are the transmitting utility for the other oppressors to smack you on your back pockets. What are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about that? If you feel like New York is too much for you and it's time to go, I get that. But you better move to a country where suits what you got going on, how your freedom is dictated. Don't just move there because the weather's nice. Don't just move there because, it's cheaper to live. What is your quality of life going to be? Quality of life. Quality of life. That's important. Your quality of life determines how long you may live. If your quality of life is here, you may exceed the now life expectancy, which I think is like in the 60s now. It's disgusting. When you look in antiquity, you look 100, 200 years ago, and you'll find whole towns in Alabama where everybody got somebody over 110 in their house. And these are the people that were supposed to be slaves. And they live to 110. They don't die from cancer. They don't die from diabetes. They just go to sleep and don't wake up. What a way to go. What a way to go. So we've got some things that we're not going to be able to blame others for. Got some things that we got to work out amongst each other. And I'm not afraid to have those conversations. I don't care how sensitive it is. Listen, the world is cold as a motherfucker. And the fact that you think some other motherfuckers is supreme and they dangling all your freedom in life, don't fucking get mad at how it comes out my mouth. It's coming out my mouth and I love you, motherfucker. These motherfuckers don't. You can take all that pain when they give it to you, but you can't take the tough talk when I'll be like, yo, what you doing? Get your shit together. It hurts you when I say that to my people. But a white man could come and say, you need to stop, be quiet. You sit down. Hey, buddy, who you talking to? Don't raise your voice. They get to talk to you like that. And you get mad at me and tell me that I'm condescending on motherfuckers that I broke away from. And I only broke away from because I had to grow. If you stunt my growth, then shit, nigga, you was in my way. You're an oppressor. You ain't no motherfucking different. Your mind ain't right. I'm telling you, your mind ain't right and you're mad at me. My actions weren't right. Ain't nobody keep no fucking secrets when the actions ain't right. Oh, look at her. She went back to that nigga after he done cheated on her. You got all that shit to talk about then. But when it come down to doing what's right, what's just, the shit that counts, ain't nobody whispering. Ain't whispering nothing good. But they can't wait to say something bad about your ass. You got to be at the point where you don't give a fuck no more. If you 42, 45, 38, 39, you still looking for some place to fucking fit in? Whose fault is that? That means there's a whole timeline before you came to the American Indian community that your shit was pretty much epically average. Right? Average. I'm only 46. I could say my shit was exceptional. Got to travel all over the place. Oh, man. Hip-hop, got to live that whole experience. I could still smell what the tunnel smelled like. That was for that time. That was for that time. The minute mine turned 20, days before the 21st birthday, was my last motherfucking club day. Wasn't doing it too frequent then. I didn't give a fuck about that. I completely stopped, disconnected listening from music. Rick Ross made me listen to hip hop again. I was done. I was listening to all types of other shit. I listened to Tom Petty and Aerosmith and shit anyway. I like 80s music all day. But it was, my love for hip hop kept me from a lot of shit. That's always going to be a part of me, but I had to abandon it because of the way that it went. The way that it went down. I didn't like the way it went down. And now here it is, 10, 15 years later. Look at these kids out here enacting every scene and every fucked up rap song. This is the culture. This is how it's, this is how it's turned out. What are people going to do to fix it? You can't just throw these babies away. They're yours. Well, there's some of us that's willing to help, but bitch, you got to tell us that you need help. Because we don't know. We just going to sit there and be like, look at that little nigga acting up. Whose son is that? We're going to be like Maya Angelou and Cicely Tyson at the Medea family reunion and shit. Oh, Lord, you see them girls? I'm never going to be that old the way I'm disconnected, though. I'll never be that old lady that's disconnected and don't act like I don't remember being 21, right? But the time when you become a man or a woman, you got to put away the childish games. Got to put away the childish games. In preparation for me becoming a grandmother, I feel compelled to clear a certain amount of air. Certain amount of air. This is my atonement and my getting right with the universe in preparation for my heart's desires. And one of them is to be a grandmother. And if I am anything like my mother, anything like my grandmother, I'm on a good path. I'm on a good path. I'm comfortable with it. And I'm happy with myself. I am actually proud of myself. I got rid of some shit that nobody even told me was there. This is how I know I didn't really have a lot of friends. Because it was truth that you didn't tell me. I'm sure they talked about me, but they did not tell me the truth. When I was the friend to be like, hey, girl, come here. You got a booger on your nose. Come here, girl. Wipe that shit off. Can't be walking around like that. But that I know I spent 20 years around bitches that would let me walk around with a booger on my nose. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we all got fucking stories. We all got fucking stories. But we all have a future. And that future has to be constructed in a completely different way. Constructed in a completely different way. It's important. And if the community doesn't act, who will be suitable for your daughter? Who will be a suitable son-in-law for your daughter? Which one of these little motherfuckers is a suitable daughter-in-law for your son? These are the people you want your children to bring into your family and share your DNA with, your family history, your good genes. Hold on, we got Brother Bones here. Halito, good morning.
Alito, Sister Phoenix, and how's everything?
How are you?
No complaints, no complaints. Just got off
Good.
a couple of calls and watching the live stream.
Right.
No, just called in to say you 100% right that we can't move forward with the same things from the past that locked us out and that kept us from working with each other.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
and that I see in the chat that someone asked the question, how do we start our own town or communities? And
You gotta,
that's easy.
it is
That's
easy.
the easy part. The hard part is we have to be willing to shed the things that are unhealthy for us. Bad habits that we picked up along the way on how we treat each other.
How we
You
treat
understand
each
how
other.
we talk to each other. Because if we don't, what we gonna do? Build a whole new town to bring the same foolishness with us?
That's right.
I mean, so you correct. This is something that's very important. We gotta
Right.
look in the mirror. We gotta look in the mirror.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I know one thing. There's some things that we have a shortage on, and that is grandparents and godparents. Do people still have godparents anymore? Shout out to my children's godparents.
You can say that again. I
Shout
respect
out to
mine.
them.
I
I mean,
respect my
30 years
children
later, and they
godparents.
still love my children. Thank goodness I didn't check out right? But I know the people that we selected, even being young, being a mother with 2 kids at 20 years old, I knew the people that I selected was long haul. Long haul. Something happened to me or their daddy, my kids are gonna be safe. They still around.
But it
Graduate.
goes back to what you said before. It takes a village to raise a child.
Yes, it
Is
does.
that one person can't be everywhere. One person can't see everything. But as a
Mhm.
community, we can,
That's right.
you
That's right.
know?
There was so many things. I thank goodness for all the people that knew our family. We have a huge family. There was a lot of stuff that we couldn't get away with. We didn't even attempt to. We had boy cousins that would bust our ass and scared all the niggas off from trying it with us anyway. But I just think of how many times it was, I know your uncle, right? Tighten up. I know is your mother such a, tighten up. What happens? You tighten up. Thank goodness for all those people that did that over the years.
Yeah,
Thank
my mom
goodness.
and dad had friends to where the community that we grew up in, the
Hmm.
neighbors can reach out and touch you if you was out of line. That's the time I grew up in.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
if the neighbors seen you doing something that they knew your parents was against,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
it was only popping.
Yep. Yep.
And but to be honest, I'm grateful for that because if it wasn't for that, I don't become the person that I am today
Yep.
because it teaches you values and morals on okay, yeah, I shouldn't be doing this. Okay, because I had uncles that'd be like neighbors that'd be like, we know y'all gonna cuss. We ain't gonna tell you not to do it, but if you see grown-ups around, you bet not do it.
That's right.
That kept it
That's right.
100 with us, you know. And,
That's
and we
right.
got to realize if we had that, why we not gonna give it to our children? That's how we still here. The majority of us.
Right. Right. That's right. That's no lie. It definitely was still a village. And we even had, I'm telling you, this was in the apex of the crack era. You know how we seen our people looking beautiful, and then all of a sudden, like, what the fuck is going on with everybody? Why do these motherfuckers look like that? A whole bunch of damn homie in high school. You was the man, homie, right? Remember this movie? I think it was LeVar Burton, very old movie in the 70s, very early 80s, called A Hero Ain't Nothing But a Sandwich. And it was about a young boy, I think he was 12 or 13 years old, got hooked on heroin. This is an old throwback movie. Hero ain't nothing but a sandwich. We had those things. So we definitely deterred from using drugs, but we sold a lot of those motherfuckers. I know we sold it, and our culture sold a lot of fucking drugs. And now the motherfuckers is
Hmm.
doing the drugs. All the people
We're
that used
coming
to do
back
the
full
drugs don't do the
circle,
drugs no more. And now these new motherfuckers is doing this. Niggas 45 years old trying heroin for the first fucking time.
trying to be in to fit an image on what someone else is telling you is cool.
Right.
I'm like, really?
Now I also noticed that what's going on in some of these prisons, okay? Some of these things have not been corrected. We need watchdogs. We need a team, different teams of people strategically set up in these troubled areas, sitting there watching these motherfuckers that try to oppress us. We have to do that. You'll watch the neighbor and see how many men she got coming in and out of her house. Why can't you watch the politicians? Why can't you closely follow the lawmakers in your area that affect you directly? Why can't you do the same? It's the same energy. You're being nosy, but you're being nosy for the right reasons now. You're
That
supposed
part.
to stay on top of your business, not somebody else's. Right. So these are some of the things that I know people aren't aware of. These are things that should be helpful to people. Certainly, none of these people that you ask upon, these lawyers, these people ain't gonna tell you. They'll sit there and lie to your face. They'll sit there and lie to your face. Well, you need to know when you're being lied to, because when you did somebody telling you the truth, motherfucker don't want to hear it. But they let a lie though. Sounds good, especially if it
My
sounds
young
good.
my youngest brother told me something a while back, and it makes sense. He was like, you know what the problem is in America that people don't realize? You pay for what you don't know.
Mm,
If you go to a lawyer without knowing basic law, just basic law and how it works, oh yeah, they finna charge the mess out of you because you have no idea.
right,
You
right.
get what I'm saying? We have to realize that We don't have to know everything, but it's enough of us. If we come together, we know everything.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I know one thing, we need to know what's important to know, and definitely knowing your rights. Ain't no way around that shit. This is what you need to be teaching your children so that they know. You shouldn't be having no conversations teaching them how to be inferior to white people, and they can disrespect and then glorify and disrespect how they disrespect our elders and our people. You're crazy for that, and you wrong for that. You're wrong for that. You treat the janitor the same as you treat the CEO. Because what they will find out is that you as a parent lied. Because everybody black ain't their motherfucking friend and everybody white ain't their enemy.
Fact.
Why not make it about good and evil? Why not make it about good and evil? Not light skin, dark skin, not black and white, not fat and skinny, not these obvious opposites.
But that's how good the program is, Phoenix, because you can show people that the whole race category was created to put you in a system, and people
Right.
still go on with it.
Yes. Yes. Yes, they do. And the serious part about it is the fact that what are they going to do now? Now that they even know that they'll be lied to, they've been lied to. It's been brought to everybody's attention. These niggas is lying. Now what are people going to do? Are they still going to carry on the same way and get the same shitty results and cry like they supposed to have something else spectacular when they have perpetuated this position to obtain shitty results? Listen to how people are talking. Their morale is down. 1 minute we're gonna leave it up to God. Next minute you don't believe God coming to fix nothing, and you show that too. Can't have all these mixed signals and shit.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that we was talking about last night that we suffer from real bad, is that we got so conditioned to sitting down and complaining and then
Right,
get mad that nothing don't change.
right,
I
right.
mean, for once, I have never seen anything change without movement.
Huh?
Without movement, how can it change?
It's impossible. I'm dropping a link to the New York State Constitution. And I'll also put in the link for the unclaimed funds. Let me go back to the main page. So New
Oh yeah,
Yorkers,
that's a good look.
find out if you got some lost chicken up in there. Money out the sky.
And that's something everyone should do.
Right.
Everyone should have a copy of your state constitution.
That's right. They gotta know
Even
the
your
law of the land.
yeah, even your county's constitution. Because we was
That's
talking
right.
about that before, and people be like, they know law. Well, I'm
That's
like,
right.
there's over 800 something counties in America. So you
Mm.
know the law for every individual county. Stop playing.
Right. Right.
And they all and laws, think about it. Lawyers don't even know all the laws. That's why they're constantly in school, because laws are constantly being amended and changed.
Yeah, I'm finding that all they do is remember codes.
That's
And
it.
codes and statutes are not law.
Why you think they have a research team? The
Hmm.
research team are the ones that find the law, get a
That's
lawyer
right.
the case dockets and stuff, and the lawyer just present it. A lawyer is
Right.
just a good presenter. That's it. Not to
That's
take
it.
anything away from them, but they just know how to present it in a particular form and fashion.
Right. That is true. And and then and those actions, a lot of those actions, even when people represent themselves, they are representing themselves pro se, which means you got to do what? Know your statutes and codes. Doesn't mean it's law either. So you're participating in the same shit that been slam dunking niggas when they shouldn't have even charged you in the first place. How about argue that? You want to know a quick fix? Show them motherfuckers your rights. Because all during that process, I tell you all the time, all during the process, they break the fucking law just to prove that you broke a code. And then there is some sort of contractual agreement, whether it's oral, implied, or expressed, that you are willing to be handcuffed and taken off to jail. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That is a fact. They ask certain questions, you make statements against yourself, and you end up in fucking handcuffs when you have the right to remain silent. And you're better off
What's
doing that.
and I'm glad you said that, Phoenix, because here again is why I tell people you got to simplify things. You got to make it simple for yourself. Because when they tell you You had the right to remain silent. How many people really pay attention and understand what they're telling you? You had the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Anything you tell them, if you told the officer your evidence, guess what? Now that evidence can't be used to help you, but they can turn around and use it to convict you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're telling you exactly how it works right in front of your face. See, sometimes you don't have to be a rocket scientist or a scholar. Just take it for exactly what it say. It can be used against you.
Right.
Nowhere in that statement it say they're going to take your testimony to help you.
That's right. That's right.
If it ain't your lawyer, shut your mouth.
That's right. And that's something that people are gonna have to practice. Let me see if I could find this shit. This shit was hilarious. And the motherfucker got mad at me, okay? And this car was hot like Rockwilder, okay? Hot like fish grease. And I still, let me pull this shit up. How do I get to this? I know I have it in here. And this is just this is an NYPD police stop, 2 in the morning, maybe 1 something in the morning on a Tuesday night. It's the middle of the summer, and the motherfucker I'm driving with got the music blasting like we having a whole motherfucking reggae party in the middle of the night, right? When nobody else shit. It's fucking ridiculous. So, this woman in a Suburban pulls up looking like J-Lo. All she's got is the window. You can just see this much of her face, and she's kind of asking for directions. It appears, but the motherfucker got the music so loud he couldn't even hear that the bitch is police. The next thing you know, you see the big swole ass Irish patties come out the goddamn back of the truck, and I'm like, motherfucker, that's police. Put the goddamn blunt out. Put the goddamn, where you spray that? You ain't even got your kit ready. As soon as you crack this window, looks like Bob Marley's grave coming out the motherfucker, right? It's fucking ridiculous. So anyway, make a long story short, you got the Hindu cop. I got that nigga so frustrated, he don't even want to search the car no more. Because all I know is, motherfucker, when you come to this side of the car, and look, I do this all the time. I started this shit in California. I'll leave my pocketbook, depending on if I'm driving or if I'm on the passenger side. I'll leave my pocketbook right there. And if I do consent to you searching my vehicle, you better not touch my bag. Oh, you give them conditions. And then you got to flex your shit just to see what really works and what doesn't. It wasn't no Morris Science Temple paperwork. Yeah, man. I'll tell you that New York City slick talk, it fucking works. Gift the gab out this motherfucker. And I'm just sitting there, push the burden of proof. Think about how Jesus talked to the Pharisees. That's how you talk to police or not. That's how you
Like
talk
people,
to them.
like regular people. You know how many times I didn't get a ticket just by having a normal conversation like they're a human being?
Mm-hmm.
And be like, you know what, hey, you cool, just go ahead, just don't do it no more. I ain't have to flash nothing special, no paperwork, secret hand tap, tap, tap. No. Sometimes just being human and
Yep.
remembering that the person that you're conversating with is human. How you can have a bad day, they can have a bad day.
That's
You don't
right.
never know what that individual been through before y'all came across each other. So sometimes just keep that in mind. And that's not saying that all officers are good. No, you got good and bad in anything you do.
Well, the fact of the matter is, none of them have authority over you unless you give it to them.
Exactly. And you give it to them half the time being emotional.
Right. There's also there's little subtle things that you can do. I like to show when they talk about, because I'll tell them off the whip. First of all, now this is a problem that I have in New York City. And I found this out because you can't call the sheriff. So if I'm in Albany, New York, or one of the other surrounding counties, and the city local police stop me or pull me over, I'm already on the phone with the sheriff. Because you need to come get your boys over here. They trying to act like sit here and tell me some shit about some driver's license and shit. Nah. The last time the sheriff put me in touch with the state trooper barracks. I think it was Troop G on the New York State Thruway. By the time I stopped, I went through a whole roadblock. I seen they had a whole bunch of little niggas pulled over to the side of the road on one of the coldest nights of the fucking year. And I know they needed an intervention. So being that I couldn't pull out no taser and get all the cops out their face, tapping all on their nuts, searching these niggas is shivering, freezing, scared to death. Right? Got them all petrified. I didn't like that shit. So when they come and they say, hey, ma'am, license, this is DUI checkpoint, I said, oh, no, thank you, honey. And I kept it moving. I heard car doors, doom, doom, car doors slamming behind me. Now lights is on and everything. I get to the toll booth. The toll booth clerk, I gave him a $300 gift card too. The toll booth clerk looks and says, He hands me the ticket and he says, honey, are you all right? I said, oh, yeah, I'm fine. How about you? He's looking like, you see what's behind you, honey? I look up and I see all the lights like fucking Cleo and set it off. And I said, yeah, I see. They'll be all right. You have a good night. He said, and he didn't want to give me the ticket. So he's like, honey, are you sure you're all right? I said, yeah, I'll be fine. Have a good night. I took that ticket and I stopped a little further, a couple of mile markers down. But when I did that, it put me in another county, and I'm on the phone with Albany County Sheriff's Department now. They put me in touch with the trooper, Troop G, who Palermo, that was the officer's name. Sergeant Palermo, this is his boss. So by the time he pulls up to the window, I get a nigga this much window. And he's like, why didn't you stop? Now he's antsy because I blew through a whole fucking checkpoint. Give him this much fucking window. And, he's talking about, yeah, because I could tow your car and I could do this. And I said, oh, hold on. What's your name again? Put it on speakerphone. Sergeant such and such wants you to call him. I don't know, whatever their device is. Tell them to call me on the 131B. Hey, Sergeant such and such. That motherfucking state trooper's looking at me like, bitch. What are you talking about? He's saying to call him on the whatever. What'd he do? He went back to his motherfucking car, sat there, and then he came back, had a whole different tone. I just shot my shit to the sheriff's department. All them calls is recorded for quality assurance purposes. So if this nigga want to break my rights, everybody liable, conspiracy of rights, because you guilty too, because you ain't dispatched nobody to come get this nigga out my face.
But guess what you did? You contacted the branch that works for you. Your sheriff works for you, brothers and sisters. We elect our sheriffs locally. Your sheriff protects you from the city police. Your sheriff protects you from your governor. Let's go a couple of weeks back when the governor wanted the sheriffs to lock down people over COVID. What did them sheriffs say? Them sheriffs say, if they put the National Guard here, call them. You don't have to let nobody in your house. Your sheriff protects you.
That's right. And if you look at every state constitution, there is a clause. I haven't found one that it doesn't exist in yet. I can't say I've been through all 50 states, but I definitely am up in the 30s. And it also talks about militia. You have the right to form a militia. And it also talks about military power is subordinate to civil power. I'm civil power. So they can't be holed up in my house during times of war nor peace. When is it a peaceful time and when is it wartime? So, rights are everything. And when the moment you flex them shits, I know you can't tell me. They ain't put me on some list. A list we'll probably never see, but I know damn well I done got pulled over 3-4 more times. Hey, you have a warrant? They purposely fucked up my date of birth. Purposely fucked it up because they know I got the checkmate. And they'd rather just make this shit go away. They give you an exit. Same thing. My daughter gets arrested for trespassing and disorderly conduct. And what happened was they wound up throwing this shit out. But I let her know when they give you the judges. I was on the fucking phone with these people all California night, all 3 shifts from the time they pulled it over. And I'm telling my baby on the phone, baby, you talking too much. You was drinking, huh, boo? Boy, you get ready to go. They get ready to no, they just told me to sit here in the car. I said, oh, they put you in a cop car, boo. You going to jail. They ain't letting you out that. He just told me to sit here for a second, Mom. I'm like, baby, you volunteered to go sit in that motherfucker's conveyor to cart you off to the motherfucking jail, boo. Don't worry about it. I'm going to start calling the fucking sheriff right now. So that whole time from that shift, I stayed up all fucking night, even to where the shift begins at 8 o'clock in the morning. Right? Because I had to wait for every shift has a sergeant or a lieutenant that you can talk to, and they always passing the buck. And I'm telling them, yo, your Albany police officers, they better give me. And I'm talking words like booty and spoil. That is my property. That's my property. My daughter is my property. Are you sure you want to? And it was just some way I was talking to the sheriff. My daughter said when she got out, and she calls me and she says, Mom, they made me sign an order of protection against somebody I don't even know. They didn't even have nothing to do with what they say they arrested me for. And I said, what did you sign? She was like, nothing. I just did my hand like this and kind of scribbled a little bit. And I said, that's right. That was your exit. The judge didn't want everybody in the courtroom behind you to see what's up. But when they was taking her out the court, she said, well, what did you say to them? Because when the sheriff was loading me to bring me in the van to court, he said, your mother said she was going to take my house from me. And I busted out laughing. And I said, no such thing. No way would I talk disrespectfully to them. And you're in their custody. I can't bust through them walls and kick their ass if they beat your ass or fuck you up. I would never talk to them like that. Now, on the other side of the gate, I'll tell you anything goes after that. But they know. Leave mine the fuck alone. I'm coming a whole nother. Who are you, ma'am? His lawyer? Nah, I'm his mother. Oh shit. True facts. True
Let's see,
facts.
we got the Constitution question in the chat. Yeah,
Uh,
basically, look at the Constitution like this. You have the federal Constitution.
mhm.
The federal Constitution is how the states, it regulates how the states govern amongst each other,
Right.
and how it states any powers that's not in the federal Constitution is awarded to the states. So now the states have the right to govern themselves with their state constitutions.
Yep.
And then remember, it says the states are the people. So then every county, every city has its own constitution how they govern themselves. Even you have the right, when you form your corporations and companies, have the right to create laws on how you govern yourself in that company. See, everything is basically broken down by jurisdiction. You just have to know what jurisdiction and who's and how it works. Again, every county, every city, every state has a constitution. And as long as they fall in line with the federal constitution, don't go outside of the perimeters, it's legal. How do you think you got some towns to where if you're not of a particular religious faith, you can't even live there?
Yeah. Yeah. Rotterdam, New York, they have a sign that's completely discriminatory, right? Bunch of niggas live around this town, and it says, "Welcome to Rotterdam. This is an Italian community." Well, shit, if that don't scream segregation,
And
it's
it's legal.
welcome to the town signs, and it's okay to say that.
Because if you look in that town constitution, they identified themselves as Italians. And as
Right.
long as they don't do anything that violates the federal constitution or the state constitution or that district, they good.
That's right. And you have to look at these contracts too. I don't know. There's all the counties in New York, right? There's one county, Schenectady County, where none of the civil servants, they don't have to drug test. So you can have a CO that is a Hulk raging monster on steroids and cocaine in there, dope fiend choking you out. Nothing much is gonna happen. Nothing much is gonna happen. So you can guarantee that county is full of
Mm-hmm.
officials that are junkies, and
Mm-hmm.
their behavior is going to be indicative of junkies. But because they may dress nice still and don't look like they lost their ass or got scabs and sores on their face, you can't see their fucking track marks, don't mean that they ain't indulging in some shit that makes them sit there and oppress you.
Mm-hmm. And I can use an example that a lot of people know, and I mentioned it before. Tom Brady in the NFL, when he wanted to take it to the Supreme Court. And if you look at the case, what did the Supreme Court tell Tom Brady? We're not even going to hear the case because the NFL has its own constitution and bylaws. It
Sure
has its
enough.
own judicial system. It has its own police force. Like I tell people, go to an NFL stadium and commit a crime.
Right.
Don't they have their own jail in the stadium?
Yes, they do. Yes, they
Because
do.
in their constitution and bylaws, they have a mechanism to take care of all these things. And the way the federal government looks at it, if I don't have to come in and mind your business and you mind your own business, conduct business. People really have to understand when they say mind your business, what that really means.
Break it down for them, because I don't think they do.
Mind your business is making sure your business affairs on how you govern yourself in your community is intact. Because as long as that's intact, your constitution, your bylaws, your administrative, and it's ran right, you basically have autonomy in the United States of America. Why do you think these companies do basically what they do? Mitt Romney been told us, but I guess because he was a Republican, we wasn't listening. Corporations are people too, my friend. Companies vote, y'all. Companies conducting the census, y'all.
That is right.
So if
That is
you don't
right.
use your voice, the companies are using their voices. They have the same rights you have.
Ain't that the truth? I'm actually looking to pull up a picture of some of the old currency where that mind your business was on there. Here we go. Boom. Let me just pull this up so you guys could see. Mind your business really was on the money, and it wasn't talking about nosy people. Hey, Sister Celestine. Let me let you in. I see you there. Hey, beauty. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Any better? There be two of me, baby. I just got to get
That's right. I know that's right.
Hold on one second.
Oh
Let me
boy.
just pull this up so you guys can see. what mind your business looks like. Let's see. Here we go. Benjamin Franklin designed one of the first American coins, and instead of saying "In God We Trust," it said "Mind your business."
I'm online. I'm online.
So this is what the currency used to look like. 1787. Mind your business was minted on the currency. Here's also, let's see, it was also on a continental currency. You guys can see that. So these are the different monetary systems that we had throughout the years of America. And these continental currency coins definitely say "Mind your business" on it. It doesn't say "In God We Trust." Maybe we need to go back to "Mind your business" on the money. We should petition for that to happen, because "In God We Trust," you see what they did with God, and who can we trust with money? Huh? Such an oxymoron. This shit sounds crazy. Absolutely crazy. What's up, sister? How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good.
I have a couple of questions because trying to just get the understanding of how all of this in my mind anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You have several constitutions, right?
Yes.
There's one for the United States, there's one for DC, and then another one. So my question is, how do we know which constitution to follow? Then you have the federal, I mean, you have the state constitution. Okay, I get that. That follows the guidelines of the I guess the federal constitution. And then you have to know what the constitution is of the different counties, and I guess, and then the jurisdiction in which you live in. And then civic. How do you study that information?
Well, civics is, and this is something that we missed, and that is citizenry. Civics is the study of citizenry, and
Right.
its entitlements, its benefits, its pros, its cons. How do you navigate through being a citizen and benefit, right? This is how you tap into white privilege. I don't want to say white privilege because anybody would have it that knows civics, right? So that's a
Mm-hmm.
dynamic that we can change, because they don't have any more, they just have a privilege, but they don't have any more rights than you do. We can knock that down by flexing our rights, which we don't do. We don't
Because what
do.
does the Constitution say again? Any powers that's not in the Constitution goes to the state or people.
That's right.
We just don't do it. So
That's right.
anything that's not in that Constitution, we have say so over. We just give it away.
Right.
And the reason why you want to know your state and your county constitutions, because once you know how they're designed, it gives you a better idea how you can maneuver in these areas
That's right.
and how you can do business and conduct business. Because a lot of things that you'll look at and be like, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong. You realize they're able to do it because of
Right.
their constitutions.
That's right. For instance, what's happening over there in the autonomous zone? What's going on in Seattle? Not much news about it. Nobody, the niggas ain't really even complaining about it. They ain't talking about it. They swooped over and hovered over the Black Lives Matter. Now, Black Lives Matter has abandoned your ass the same way they did with Occupy Wall Street. Abandon, complete abandon, abort, abort, right? Now you have, what do you call it? You have the state constitution, which limits what the government can do against you. Sometimes, not
Mm-hmm.
only do they cross the state, uh, violate into the state, the actual state law, they also violate the constitutional law of the United States in severalty. So, some cases,
Mm-hmm.
in most cases, what I did, I used the Civil Rights Act, right? I also used what laws were applicable, the legal search and seizure for checking his car, just little things like that. His right to due process, excessive bail. I used all of those things because there wasn't really a lot to pick from. But what I also had to do was go into the United States Constitution, and I made a nice little memorandum on 8 by 14 and a half legal paper, and I let them know what my son's rights are, so that they can remember. That was a remembrance to them. Hold on, hold on. You sure this what you want? It made them pause, because here it is. Everybody's getting assigned public defenders. And I gave his public defender that was assigned to him, I gave that nigga a copy too. And he says, oh, well, I don't need this. It ain't for you, nigga, it's for them. The judge got it. The court clerks got it. Everybody's got a copy. It's all certified and notarized. What are they going to do? Who does that? Now you don't got to argue codes and shit like that because y'all already violated my son's rights when you pulled him over thinking he was black. You fucked up. You shouldn't have called it in. He told you he was, and you still called him black. The nurse, the person that booked him, he told you who he was. You still called him black. You still did this. You motherfuckers violated his rights, and you're fucking up his identity. So you fucking fucked with my property rights too, because now I can't even identify if it's my son. I don't give a fuck if I see his name. I see an age, but there's no date of birth. There's no picture, and my son ain't black. I know. You sure you got the right motherfucking person before I book this ticket to California, from California to New York? I need to make sure. Oh, well, they fucking fucked up some more. Now I got them on record where the nurses is laughing at me because I'm like, wait, I need to know if this is really my son, because all I see, they have a mobile app that shows you everybody that gets arrested. There's no picture. There's no date of birth. None of this is there. So I'm like waiting for my son to call. What did you tell them? Oh, I said this and that. I said, oh, you know, they said you was black, African-American. He was like, I told them I was Indian. I don't know what they talking about. I know you don't. Okay, son, I'll be there. I'll be out there tomorrow. I'm coming to get you. Had to be proactive because now he's had police contact. So what I got to do? Had to send that motherfucking parole officer a lengthy motherfucking letter. I had to go to the BOP, to the U.S. Code where I could pull up the contract that my son signed for post supervision, bitch. I'm his boss, not you. You're supposed to make sure this don't happen. But one thing you better make sure is that no white man come and get my Indian child ever again. She tapped out. She tapped out. She did not want to be his parole officer anymore. After about 2-3 times of me having to chastise her and sending her formal letters and making sure I CC her supervisor and everybody else, break yourself. Y'all want this Title 18? Y'all ain't never seen a nigga do it. You damn sure ain't see an Indian do it. I know that for sure. Because everybody is in a conspiracy against my motherfucking rights. Gotta hold them accountable. So there was U.S. constitutional clauses, certainly the right to identify. There's all sorts of things. They broke international law, everything. They don't want them fucking problems. They don't want them problems. They've never had those problems, so they wouldn't even know how to fix it. And unfortunately, for the people that are privileged and have a lot of money, can you imagine the psychological damage when they realize that money can't stop the fucking Constitution? A nigga that know the Constitution? Nothing they could do about that. And I'm the one to push it. I want this shit say, if they're guilty of this, punishable by $10,000 or 10 years fine or 10 years imprisonment. I want both. I want both. When you are in suit against the states, you have a U.S. attorney. The Indian has a U.S. attorney assigned to them. So it won't be Phoenix Moon against the state of New York. It won't be Phoenix Moon against the United States. Right? Got to know where it is that you're supposed to be. Are these real courtrooms? Or are they kangaroo courts? Need to know the difference. Parking tickets, are they legal? Why are you in traffic court after you got arrested for something that you're not supposed to be there for? But because you participate in this shit, you think it's the status quo. But you really don't know. And it's costly. You had to take time off from work for some bullshit. And then you got to pay a fucking fine for some shit you really shouldn't pay shit for, especially if there's no damaged property, there's no one injured, no injured party. All those criterions have not been met. Injured party, damaged property, fraud, or conspiracy are the only true crimes. They're only true crimes. Everything else is like something that they coded in. So why are niggas being charged? If you have a right to bear arms, how come these niggas is going taking 5 years, 10 years, 3 years for a revolver, 5 years for a semi, 10 years for an automatic, whatever, however they doing it? You called it a gun. You called it a gun. You agreed that it's a gun and not an arm. And now you're going off to go do 5 years. That's right. Now, there's some things with your privacy that ends up getting taken, especially in the state of New York. So now they tow your car goes to a car graveyard. They drag it from one end of the city to the other. You can't even find your car back when you get out of jail. And then when you do get it, you owe $4,000. It's impossible. Then they end up impounding your car and sell your shit. So you took more losses than you totally should have. And people don't do anything about it. Now you still managed to keep your job, but now you can't even go to work because they took your fucking vehicle and you can't get back and forth. It ends up being a fucking clusterfuck of nonsense. Clusterfuck of nonsense. Everybody's preamble is different. Oh man, we read off the people of Illinois. There's so much stuff that you guys could do, but I don't know. It's a whole bunch of Democrats there that have gained a lot of trust for all the wrong fucking reasons.
Phoenix, is the preamble the same as the Constitution?
No, if
Oh,
each constitution has their own preamble.
okay.
The U.S. Constitution, of course, we the people, that is the part of the preamble, and then there is the different articles. And Article 1 is your Bill of Rights. In New York State, the preamble tells you basically a mission statement. It's like a mission statement, if you will. The people of New York hereby free unless otherwise indicated, blah, 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 blah. They threw a little spiel in there. And then you have the Article 1, which always is generally your Bill of Rights. And in those Bill of Rights, what happens, what I see in New York, they've got a bunch of shit about gambling and lottery and stuff like that that ain't got nothing to do with the people's rights. Because if you got a number spot or I got a number spot, they're going to kick our door in. So I don't even know why that's there, but that goes to show how far the legislation has gotten out of control, that they're deciding on shit that you have no deciding factor on. And you should be able to decide if you want a casino, if you don't want this in your state. You should be able to decide what's best for you based off of your community, the needs of your community, and how y'all living and how you'd like to live. Oh, hold on, Bones. Let me put you back. There you go. How you'd like to live. So
I'm glad you said that on that, even with that casino thing, because a lot of people don't miss how they fooled you on that. Brothers and sisters,
yeah,
if they sell lottery tickets in your state, gambling is legal.
right. And they, they tell us, and then mind you, gambling is part of our culture. Where do they think spades and poker and all? That's our shit. That's our shit. I have articles from the 1700s where they're talking about the Negroes in them backwoods partying all goddamn night at the juke joints, and they're signing petitions, and they're talking about how they're shooting craps back there. It's something we've been doing for quite some time. So if you ever wonder what's the association with Native Americans and casinos, it's really not. It's really the association with Indians and gambling. That's how a lot of the land got lost too. It wasn't just swindled from the white man. Some of our grandfathers lost 100 fucking acres drinking fucking rum. Right? Some of them gave it away. Oh, you know what? You the coolest white man ever. You know what, Bill? Oh man, I'm gonna, you get generous and shit sometimes when you get drunk. Give a motherfucker your last dollar and can't even get home. Like, oh shit, I was that drunk. Where the fuck is my money at? Yeah. Grandma went and got her new husband. Nigga, you done lost what? Get the fuck out of here. Earl done gambled the goddamn house. He bet the farm on it and lost that motherfucker. Grandma went and fucked with his brother.
Thank you, Phoenix. I'm going to back out and listen in the chat.
You're welcome, sister. You're welcome. Phoenix, can Bushwick projects? Yes, you can. I know, I believe Frederick Douglass houses in Lower East Side has charters. I think they might have some bylaws. So there's some things that are already hidden in these projects that people got to do the research on. You might have to go through some county records. There's definitely going to be some bylaws and stuff like that are going to be effective outside of what they're saying the public housing authority is allowed to do. Because even in those things, if you find that shit goes against your rights, you have a right to complain about that. But here's the thing about a contract or anything that you may sign. I just have a little receipt here. So this may say this is a DMV contract, and it's saying that in the fine print that, if I'm caught driving at 65 miles an hour, this, that can happen. You know what I'll do? Cross it out and initial it. Cross it out and initial that you have omitted that from the contract because you don't agree to that. You don't agree to it. Do you know what it is that you're signing? You just went down to DMV and gave a complete stranger your name, age, height, what color your eyes are. You don't even know how many fucking kids you got. You got your social security number. Social security card says, do not carry this with you. How many people got their social security card in their wallet? right now. Take it with it everywhere they go. It says do not bring this out. If this is lost, return it to us. Don't give it back to Bob Jones, whose name is on it. It ain't his. But it'll say in different jargon, right? And double talk. But this is your number, so keep it private.
They tell you don't hand it to nobody.
You go to a job, I need your driver's license and your social security card, and nobody challenges that. No one stood up to human resources yet.
But like you said about a housing authority that a lot of people don't know, there's really nothing special about a housing authority. You know, you can start your own.
Yes.
All you got to do is just form a co-op and you can start your own housing authorities.
Yep.
And you will build your own constitution and bylaws on how you would govern that housing authority.
That's right.
Matter of fact, if the housing authority in your area isn't up to code for the people, that automatically allows you to start another one.
That's right. Now I want to talk about go expound a little more on no fun here. This question. This is something that I've learned specifically in courts of equity where you have foreclosure and real property, right? In the criminal court, anything you say can and will be used against you in that aspect. In courts of equity, they need to see something. You can be like, well, I paid my mortgage in December and January. I don't know. They need to see it. So now it's based off of what you see and none of what it is that they're hearing. They have to see it, right? But one thing I've learned, there's never been anyone to show in a foreclosure proceeding anywhere where a bank deposited $150,000 for this loan that they're saying you defaulted on. And then you get the deed and that shit still calls you a tenant. A lot of things we haven't really touched into. You know, you think you accomplished some shit. And people think they have, you know, they got bragging rights and stuff like that. Oh, I got a house and all of that. But do you really own the motherfucker? Or does the city own it? And you got to find out if that is the case, specifically because once what I've noticed to happen after they foreclose and they get people out of the house, what tends to happen is the bank has to buy the house from the city. But I thought the bank owned it in the first place. Something ain't right with that.
No. You hit that right on the head. You hit it right on the head. The cities be owning a lot of these properties and you don't even know it.
Right. Right. And do the city really own property? Can a thing own anything? Who is the city? Who's the city? Because if I get damaged by the property, the city of New York is not going to show up so they can efface me as their accuser. Are they? It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible to happen.
Entity created to do business.
That's it and that's all. That's it and that's all. So we got to know what's real, what's not real. We definitely got to figure out how to attack some of these things. I think we got to start small. So because people are kind of scattered and all over the place, and we have to learn this stuff on the fly. We're adults that have busy lives. We got a lot of things going on, and we still have to learn about civics and polity in order to save ourselves. Nobody else is going to do it for us. And it takes all of us to do this, all of us to know this, all of these things for us to, be able to multiply. We have to multiply our greatness. We can't just stay stuck with it. This is why I'm looking for other people so I can dump all this information and give it away. It shouldn't die with me. It shouldn't die with you. We have to make sure this is something that all of our people know. We've been completely miseducated, and it's something that we don't have to fucking whisper about. Granted, I'm not saying they need to know the strategy or anything, but they know that we coming with the law. They're a lot more scared than a motherfucker coming with 1 million black people crying, talking about Black Lives Matter. They scared of a motherfucker that can use the Constitution to fuck these people up.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them should be fucked up. But are you going to turn a blind eye when it come down to fucking Maxine Waters up? Spitting on Elijah Cummings' grave? He done fucked with your emotions all these goddamn decades and died with $6 billion to help the most troublous city. And that shit don't make a nigga mad. They mad at Trump. This motherfucker gave people a free $13,000 to sit in the goddamn quarantine. That $13,000 multiplied by all the people that got it. Damn, what could we do? How much property will we have now? What was they selling? 41,000 acres in Oklahoma, I think. No, Arkansas. 41,000 acres for $1.5 million.
And you can buy whole towns in Georgia for that. There's towns scattered all over Georgia that you can buy for that.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And that's what we're going to have to make sure that we're conveying some of this information to people. We're going to be doing the civics courses. So anybody that's interested, you certainly can sign up. See what you gain from it. You might not gain anything. You might want to go back to Blind Eye Billy, or you might want to be all seeing Tom. Depends on how you look at it. But it's got to be figured out. People are going to have to make a decision if they are going to fix their own conditions, or you're going to sit by and wait for the shit to happen. So that's something that people are going to have to figure out. But the courses will be available. Also, it's super important. And we talk about genealogy, not to make people feel bad, but you should feel stupid for talking about things in history that you don't know anything about. You should feel bad. Don't make motherfuckers that took a look into themselves feel like they did something wrong for the nigga that's blind and sitting there trying to drag you all across the fucking Atlantic. You're a grandma killer. You kill your own grandma. You deny that your grandmother and grandfather have a history that may be great or not so great in America, but you don't know because you don't know who they are. That's your fault. You can't practice racism because you don't know who your race is. You think everybody's your brother, but it's not true. And they show you that because they're in their groups with their prospective races and they honor those people and they don't honor you. Do you still feel like you're the same people? You're not. And the quicker you accept that, the better off the rest of us that are in the knowing will be. Because the rest at this point, niggas is dangerous with the shit that they don't know. They're dangerous. Hold on a second. Okay, there you go. Yeah, they're dangerous. There you go, Bones, you back. So, definitely, what's up, Netra? What's happening, good brother? Hi, Raphael. How you doing, beloved? And these civic courses, there's going to be a little homework assignments. It's really going to be professional. We're using the same things that Harvard and Princeton use. This isn't going to be no Morris Science Temple 27 fucking reboot, some shit that was stolen from them to sit here and flex like this is some fucking magic key to the kingdom or some shit like that. No. We're going to use basic civics, the same shit that our grandparents learned that they totally needed to stop with Generation X. Why? Because they were going to flex all this Pan-Africanism and teach us how to kill our own grandmothers, right? When I say that, I'm talking about distorting the history, the existence of them being here in America. Now everybody wants you to wear a badge of shame that you can't find one African in your lineage, and you've been claiming a place that don't claim you, right? I don't care how fancy they word it, prove that shit, right? So at the point where Black Americans look into their fucking history, find one. Find one. Find some. And when you do, that'll be beautiful because now you know part of from where you came. And you'll be able to move accordingly. There's going to be some act right that they owe you as those particular people. And we're going to show you how to get to it. Doesn't matter whether or not you're Indian or not. If you are fucking oppressed, this means you. This means you. No one should be oppressed. Nobody. Not Black people, not white people, not Chinese people. I'll never ask a question, how come we don't see Chinese kids getting guns pulled out on them? No child should have a gun pulled out on them. That's it. That's it, and that's all. Anybody in the chat have any more questions? Let me see what's going on here. HUD Section 3. Bones,
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you want to expand a little bit. We didn't have a specific question, but just give a breakdown of HUD Section 3 and some of the history for please, so that people understand that this has been available and could have been a huge part of some of the financial burden that people in the projects in these impoverished neighborhoods have had the whole time, and these white people and these Negroes been stealing it. As the Negro talk about, we ain't got no money, we ain't got this, we ain't got that. But they homeboy. Yeah, why don't you break that down a little bit for the people?
Most definitely, HUD ties back into what you would know as public Indian housing. There's no such thing as a HUD code. if you go to the HUD website and you look, there is no such thing as a HUD code. It's public Indian housing. And when you look at public Indian housing, you will come to find out it's what Dr. Martin Luther King was marching for during the Fair Housing Act. So now you have to ask yourself, who was this program designed for? It wasn't designed for reservation Indians because they already had housing. It was designed for the urban Indians, the ones that were locked out, the ones that wasn't being allowed to participate and buy homes at fair market prices, our ancestors. And basically what the program states is this: it allows us the ability to bid on contracts in our community. It allows us the ability to hire our own brothers and sisters to work on a lot of these contracts in our community. We know about Section 8, but how many numbers come before 8? And even people that's on Section 8, how many of your counselors let you know because you're on Section 8, you go to the front of the line for Section 3, services that you can use to rebuild your community, services that you can use to employ your community. Alone in New York, they were paying them $45 an hour to hang drywall, to teach people how to hang drywall through HUD Section 3. And it's kind of funny, you can go on YouTube and type in HUD Section 3, and you'll see all the projects across America that has been done with this. You'll see brothers and sisters that look just like you, that's taken on the responsibility of rebuilding their community, getting major contracts and bidding on them. And you don't have to have construction experience. You're just bidding on the contract. You get the contract. Now you look for the subcontractors that's going to do the work. You make sure that the people from this community are the ones that's benefiting from it. It was designed for us. You wonder why Walmart comes in and built their store right around us, because they're using HUD Section 3 funds to get the store built. You wonder why the NFL has a stadium in the hood, because they're using HUD Section 3 to get it built. We mentioned this at the No Grandma Killers tour. Look at your local NFL team. It'll shock you that your NFL teams own housing authorities through HUD Section 3. Again, these are programs that have been around since 1964, 68, that can change, flip the whole table of our communities, actually put us on the path for generational wealth. And it takes us working as a community, not as an individual, as a community. That if I have a business in this community, I should make it my responsibility to hire people from this community, guaranteeing that the funds that we generate stay in our community at least 12, 13, 14 times before it goes anywhere. We want to get our children off the corners, then let's give them something to do, something productive to do. We want to make sure our families stay intact. Let's make sure that we design institutions and use these programs to do this. Again, HUD Section 3 is one program out of hundreds that our ancestors fought for. And it's just like how Sister Phoenix said, a lot of our elected officials don't tell us about it. A lot of these people that act like they're here for you don't even mention it. But if you look at their portfolios, you will find out that they're benefiting from it. Give you a bit of information. You can go to your local HUD registry and you can see every business in your city, county, and state that is benefiting from HUD Section 3.
That's right. That's right.
And it would shock you what companies are using your money to suppress you, and you're financing them to do it.
Bone, send me that link so that I can show. I thought I had it saved. Send me that link to where we can look up the metropolitan areas and see who has this HUD Section 3. I want to specifically show in New York. I was disgusted with New York. How many people in the state of New York? 10, 20 million people. Do you know less than 5,000 people have used this shit that has brought these other people that are not minorities out of poverty and put you further down in the motherfucking rat race? President Trump's been locking these people up that's been stealing this money since 1968. The minute that Martin Luther King said, I'm coming to get the check, well, that check was cut. And these are your new breed of politicians. They are the descendants of the people that got part of that check money, and they come in here to perpetuate the same fucking scam on the niggas they think is dumb. You got to be in it to win it. Niggas have not been involved. And the people that you have involved, you haven't vetted them. You just trusted them because they were black on the end of a stick, where they still been aiding and abetting your same motherfucking oppressor. And you won't turn them loose. They deserve to get their head cracked too. They deserve to get their head cracked too, because they abuse your trust. And then the ones who should be trusted, you don't fucking trust them. You don't fucking trust them as far as you can kick them across the street. But these strangers, though, you got faith in all these motherfucking strangers. And look at what the strangers have done. They've invited their family that ain't cut from the same cloth you're from, and their family's benefiting, and your family, well, languishing in the corner of his own lands in exile.
Yeah, I just texted to you.
Okay. All right. Hold on one second.
And like I tell people, it would shock you. Some of these major corporations that you think made it off of hard work, made it off of you not knowing what was left for you.
That's right. That's right. Hold on one second. Let me get this here so that
While laughing, people won't up that's a nonprofit. I say, well, you need to go look again. The NFL is a 501c6. NFL Association is a 501c6.
Oh, tell them about the NFL again.
$10 million a year.
Bring that back, bro, because you broke up.
The NFL is a the NFL is a 501c6, a nonprofit organization that generates $13 billion a year. The NFL Players Association is a 501c7. You ever wonder why you see political campaigns during NFL and football games? Because a 501c6 can spend 49.9% of all money they took in to influence any election or a candidate. See how the game is being played, brothers and sisters? They're pulling their resources, their money together to put in power the people that they want to run the country.
Yep.
And if we don't organize and do the same, what you think gonna happen?
Right. Right. All they see was Kaepernick down on his knee, standing for racial solidarity. They still ain't got a clue. And they were moved and wooed by that, and they protected in him, and then they threw some of their own away that they should have protected, but they don't. People will grab and hold and levitate to people that ain't got no dog in the fight they got in. Ain't got no dog in the fight. Does it take away from how noble the act was? No, but what the fuck did it do? Just left a bunch of confusion. And you know, now the people that scream racism the loudest, they are the motherfuckers that have become racist now.
But did anybody notice when Kaepernick was supposed to be fighting against the NFL, he was still employed by the NFL? We were duped. This man still had an NFL contract. True indeed, he wasn't on nobody's team, but he was still being paid.
Yeah.
That whole Nike deal was to make sure he got the last of that contract. We can actually read and dig into stuff and stop letting the media tell us what it is. Find out for ourselves. These people been using us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And they got people looking at what's right as wrong and what's wrong is right. That's a fucking vulnerable position to be in right now. The vulnerable position. Okay, so I'm going to go to New York. Let's see. Hold on. Now, this is the New York metro area.
Finna let y'all know what exists and what's out there. We can actually use this stuff because everybody else using it against us.
Yeah. Look at these companies here. So these are different companies. And it says the New York HUD Metro is made up of the following: Bronx County, New York, Kings County, of course, you know, Putnam County. So they're including this metro area as part of Putnam County, Rockland County, and Westchester also. You know, Richmond County is Staten Island. So these are the people that have these companies from HUD Section 3. None of these which are accessible to you. You have no idea where these bids have been going. These are the people that have been winning the bids. Perhaps you might want to do a little research and see who these people are, if they're even entitled. American Housing Realty. You have all these different companies here benefiting.
But there is a solution, brothers and sisters. We can start our own companies and register them as HUD Section 3 and hire our own people. And not just telling you about it, it's proof that it worked. One of our very own who was at the Grandma Killers tour, and Phoenix, you know him very well, Enrique.
Yes.
Enrique has been bidding on HUD Section 3 contracts using the same information we're talking about right now.
Right.
Brothers and sisters, we can do this in real time.
That's right. That's right. We have to do this. And if you don't want to do it for yourself, plan for 7 generations ahead. Plan for 7 generations ahead. That's definitely what you want to do. It'll be to your detriment if you don't. And this has been happening. This money has been available to help get you out of your financial bind. But you got to have the entrepreneurial spirit as well, right? Because we've been indoctrinated to think that going to school and getting good jobs was really what it's about. And that, my friends, is where you have this equality thing going on in your mind that's really sociopathic. That you want to be equal to the people that have been monsters throughout the fucking world, right? This is what you say. They're monsters throughout the fucking world, and you want to be equal to them so that you can do what? Rule over me. You already think you're smarter. You think you're better because you got more degrees, right? So there is still a fucked up kind of hierarchy that people place themselves in when they ain't really about shit. You got a dream that is attached to some foreign shit, but you haven't been able to benefit as a people from it in your own shit. In your own shit. In your own house, you got all these other people ruling around you, and you just there like furniture. Madder than a motherfucker. You ain't getting enough food. Well, these motherfuckers that you appointed to the kitchen, inviting all they fucking hungry people from wherever into your house. Niggas don't see that it's a problem. We need a whole fucking reset. Get rid of all these motherfuckers that don't want to do what their requirements are to be here. Meanwhile, the Negro need to figure out that he's from here. Thank you so much, Sharkway. The Negro need to find out where he belongs so he can place himself accordingly and win. If you think that winning is only for white people, then you've kind of made it clear where you are with things, and we can't use you to win. And that's okay too. Being honest about it is better than pretending you a winner and you really a dud. Niggas act like they cool for they the shit and they ain't even a cool fart. So I kind of respect you for not acting like you the winner that you say you may pretend to be. But it's winning season and the wins are there. The wins can be in the bag. It's got to be a matter of what are people willing to do? Are you going to give up your love in hip hop? Are you going to set your DVR to watch C-SPAN maybe and see the whole proceedings instead of little bits and pieces that the media chops up to get your mind in a frenzy and make you hate a man that's helping? You hate your help. You hate your help. Oh, it's going to kill people, and they'll have too much pride to say Donald Trump's doing right shit by so-called black people in America to kill him to say the truth.
But he is, though. Listen, say what you want to say. I know firsthand from hearing from the meetings, the amount of finances they're waiting for us, but we just have to do it. And if we don't do it, these corporations going to do it for us like we babies and children.
This is it.
Imagine, you see how you got them companies on there, Phoenix? Imagine how many people work for a HUD Section 3 company that's getting the benefit from employing them that they don't even know.
They don't even know. The same sister like Angelica Morrison will sit right there and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. What program? What money? And then here come Mr. Bob Dabalina coming in. She say, hey, Mr. Bob, do you know we have another program that can help you with this? The bitch talk different when she talking to her oppressor, right? But meanwhile, she's your oppressor. That type of time. That type of time. We're going to get it together, though. We're working. We're working to pay it forward. Some of these things that we put this information out, and all we really want is for you to teach other people. Teach other people how to create their own businesses and stop being intimidated. Stop thinking that they need a middleman for everything. You don't need a middleman for everything. You can't pretend to be a king and then forget what kings do. Kings definitely don't be asking for permission. You better ask for forgiveness rather than ask for permission to be free. What the fuck kind of mental shit is that? And these kids, if you're telling them these mixed ass signals, nigga, no wonder they fucking angry. We done started out lying to them about a lot of shit. Fuck that Easter bunny, a bunny shitting out eggs. Fuck all that bullshit. White man coming and bringing you gifts and shit, and then turn around and tell him the white man's your enemy. But I thought Santa brought us gifts. Fuck you confusing them for? Fuck.
Oh, I seen another question in the chat. Yes, there's programs that can help you rehabilitate your house off of forgivable grants and loans. For seniors, we did it with two already, to where they can get on a list and they'll come out, and because of the age demographic they in, they'll do the repairs and stuff for them.
Right.
There's a lot of programs out there that we can use, and imagine what we can do as working as a community.
That's right.
Is just going through the programs, because as many programs as I might know and have information on, there's hundreds out there I haven't even came across yet.
That's right. That's right. It's saying my screen share didn't work for what? The HUD? I actually turned it off. It did work. I'll put it back up so you can see. Let me see. Hold on one second. For the HUD section 3. Let me drop the link in the chat for you guys too. Let me do that. But that's all that it was, beloved. It was I was just giving some examples, but I'm gonna drop this in the chat so you guys have access to it. Read up on it. This has been here for a very long time. There you go. Okay, so I dropped that in there. And that's that. But there's so many things that we can do. We're gonna Bones, maybe we need to do another show about the land banks again.
Yeah, I'm you, like I told you before, whatever I can do to help, I'm there.
I
know, tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I think it's 6 Central. We'll be on Kerry Davis talking a little bit more about some HUD Section 3.
Yes.
So, like I said, whatever I can do, my sister, I'm there. Ain't no issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate you so much. Also, just so the people that purchased the live stream, we got a special bunch of footage that Chief Cali has magnificently edited, and you get to see the experience after everybody left. Some behind the scenes. We had like a red carpet interview afterwards. It was really elegant and classy. At that point, you could still hear the music and the children running around and everything. I mean, it was just complete effects. And then the next day we wound up going to the mounds, the Etowah mounds, and it was just an amazing experience. I slept for 2 days. We were supposed to have a meeting, Bones. I couldn't even get myself together. I slept. It just took so much out of me, but I wanted to just absorb and hold on to that joy. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And we'll always be trying to duplicate that vibe. That vibe is what we need to keep us charged and going and looking forward to fight another day.
A lot of people don't like the word. But to me, it was so comfortable.
Yes.
Because you knew you was with family.
Yes.
You're gonna say into where everybody was comfortable.
That's right.
Wasn't nobody worried about anything. You can sit stuff down, no arguing, no fighting.
Not one thing missing, nothing from phone chargers, nothing. I mean, people, and then after the first day, it was a few people that were drinking. Everything was right where they left it or was able to find it. Nothing bad. Everything is wonderful.
I mean, I told you in person there, but I want to say it again on the air. Thank you for being you and for enduring everything you've been through.
Thank you.
To make this possible. Thank our sister, my sister Tasha. Thanks Coach Crew Cut for being a beautiful host in the area and putting up everything he had to put up with
Yes.
to make it possible. And everybody else, from Davida Carter, from Celestine Wilson, everybody who came from the distances that they came.
Yes.
Remember, this is history, and can't
Yeah.
nobody take this away from us, because when everybody else was talking, we got it done.
That's right. That is
We
right.
raised the bar. We have raised the bar. We have shown that we are willing to meet each other and get the work done.
That's
I
right.
mean, what more can you ask for? So thank y'all again.
Yes, good brother. Thank you very much. Everybody, this was a beautiful experience. I hope that you will be able to catch us somewhere in the city near you. We'll be doing this, and it needs to be done. We don't have all of the, let me tell you something. There's a bunch of shit that I'm not gonna do, right? And that is be buck dancing just to tell the fucking truth. That's what I'm not gonna do. The truth don't need no legs to walk and no knees to crawl. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's no backing down from that. However, we want to make sure that people are aware of what their truth is so they can stop acting like they know the truth, because they don't. You don't know what my folks was doing 300 years ago any more than you know what your folks was doing 300 years ago. And that's a problem. So now if we can all be on the same page, we'll see our relations. We will see that we are connected through this 6 degrees of separation. And some of us not even that far. And now I'm finding out, like, even Davida Carter, she's my cousin. And her husband is also a cousin too. So things like that. And we're finding these things through common ancestors that they said didn't even exist. And they said that there was no history on them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're proving that that is an absolute lie. See yourself. You'll feel different when you see yourself. Your grandmother and your grandfather owned 200-300 acres or 1,000 acres of land. And during this time when you saying they were slaves, you put some baggage on their souls. You fucked up their rest. They can't sleep in peace. They're not sleeping in peace. And that's something that we got to deal with. And there's a responsibility in that. There's some consequences that have come with that, and we have suffered and still suffering. So the faster you can get the information to your children and let them know they didn't come here in the trunk of a goddamn slave ship, let them know, give them back their pride. Ethnocide has been committed. Genocide has been committed. They stole our land and history right in our nose. Got a whole bunch of people saying that they the first ones when them motherfuckers wasn't here in Virginia. They wasn't in New York. They wasn't in the 13 colonies, damn it. So who are they talking about? They talking about you, Negro man and woman. They're talking about you. Some of the most important people on the earth. And you can equivalate that to, if it helps you understand, look at the Israelites. Sometimes that's the only way people understand. And you break it down that way, and you'll see that you're still wrong.
I see a couple of questions in the chat. Yes, it is true. Small businesses can get up to $10,000 that you don't pay back. You can do that through the SBA now. There's members in the community that's already completed it and got their funds. So it is true. Matter of fact, they're about to come around and do another round. And to the person that asked the question, can you use these programs to repair your house? Yes, you can. You can use it to repair your house, and especially if it falls in one of these qualifying areas, you have benefits you don't even know about. And much respect to Chief Netcha. I see you out there in the chat. Man, contact me. I keep telling you, I got some information that can help you in your community. So when you get the chance, holler at me. I got something for you.
That's right. That's what's up. Each one teach one. Stay true to yourself, and most importantly, stay true to the people, man. This is what it is. Nothing but love. Chapisalachi K, beloveds.